All right, boss. Lead us. You got a big segment, big show today.
We do. We have a massive
Jack was extra
show.
excited today.
Wait, what episode is this?
This is episode 16.
Stop.
Yeah, we are on 16, and there is a lot to talk
That's
about,
like
boys.
that's like 4 months.
Yeah.
That's a
Here we
third
are,
of a
4 months
year.
in.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So, first of all, did you guys hear about the mega carp in Seoul?
I did
Anybody
not hear about this.
I talked to Chris about this a little bit yesterday.
The Megacarp or Magikarp?
The mega carp is what they're calling it. So there was an event in Seoul where they were handing out a promo Magikarp that has a mega stamp on it. And they had to cancel the event because they had 40,000 plus people gathered in the forest outside the event to get this Magikarp promo. And some people got it before they canceled the event. Some people did not. And yeah, apparently it's a huge deal over in Korea. And now that Magikarp is hitting eBay for like $800 a pop because there's only a few of them that got handed out. And so we basically have Van Gogh 2.0.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
You know what else was hitting the market this week?
What?
Target display signage
Yeah.
for their new Pokemon Target days.
I did see that.
I almost bought one. I almost bought the retail, the little Gengar Charizard thing. I'd put it right out in the front, and then everybody would think that we're scalpers. Look at this brick and mortar card
Yeah,
shop. You
right
guys
next
are
to Target.
scalpers. You guys are buying the signage even, and we're like conveniently Target's right next door to
Yeah.
us.
What a coincidence, right? How much? How much were they trying to sell it for?
$1,000.
1,000?
Yeah. If you go, like, there's already sales. I mean, people are even selling the little lunchbox display cardboard. You know, like the display signage.
So yeah, but that's not even one of the things we're going to talk about today. So if we're leading off with that, there is a lot going on. So let's get into it. So we've got GameStop trying to buy eBay.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Tag pausing grading submissions so they can get caught up because they are so far behind. So they've literally paused all grading submissions coming into them. And then we are going to also talk about Pokemon vending machines being removed from most retail areas. East Coast has already removed them, and we'll get into that in some more detail. And then we'll wrap it up with Tinker Time. So
Great.
let's jump in. Here we go. First topic, GameStop buying eBay for $56 billion bid, as stated by GameStop's CEO yesterday. They're hoping to rival Amazon on the seller's market. And as soon as they announced their bid to buy eBay, their stocks plummeted. GameStop's stocks plummeted. So that's kind of interesting. What do you guys think of GameStop trying to make a bid to buy eBay, which half of it I think they're trying to buy through stocks, the rest cash? I don't know exactly.
It's 50-50.
Is it 50-50?
So the offer is a $56 billion deal composed of 50% cash and 50% GameStop stock. GameStop already secured a commitment letter from TD Bank for $20 billion. So it's not it's what do they call it, Trev? It's an unsolicited offer. eBay wasn't doing any back channel communicating saying, hey, anybody want to buy us? And so they offered a little bit of a premium, like a 20% premium over eBay's current price. So I think this is a deal. Ryan Cohen is pretty much in my head. He's not like a CEO like Bill Gates or Elon Musk or Bezos, right? Ryan Cohen's more like a pretty sharp video game player that's taken advantage of some pretty cool stuff for him to be able to succeed. So I think the CEO of GameStop understands the Pokemon market. I think he understands the level that other people are reporting on it, that it's a giant, big old tranche of the collectibles world. And my gut tells me that he's trying to make big moves. He's probably got some really good quantitative data behind him to convince his board. GameStop, once again, you guys recognize it not only from being the store that does PSA submissions, But going back 5 or 6 years, I mean, they made a movie about their stock. They were involved in a whole situation with Roaring Kitty and whatever his other monikers are. Their stock price went up significantly over the short term, and it was a fun thing for everybody to watch. It was like they were the banner holders of the retail stock investors. And so anyway, I think Ryan knows what he's doing. I think he recognizes that the addressable market for Pokemon collectibles is huge. I think he knows that it's only going up, and I think he's positioned his company to do some unique things. So just as a recap, what he's positioned his company to do, they have a partnership with PSA. Outside of a one-off game store, nobody else has a partnership with PSA. And when I say partnership, it's not just you can drop your cards off to get sent to PSA at the store. You can also, they also buy slabs and put together mystery bags for slabs that they get direct from PSA from the vault, potentially, right? There has been a rumor that they have some level of organization going on with Pokemon to be the potential Pokemon centers for the Pokemon company in the United States and North America.
That seems really weird to me, considering they're selling Pokemon products so far above MSRP. I can't imagine Pokemon's like, hey, yeah, we love that you're selling our stuff and profiting off of it. Now we're going to make you Pokemon centers. You know, it's kind of strange.
That's a valid point if you're like a social justice warrior, but if you're like a pure capitalistic businessman, Pokemon doesn't give a dang. They just
you don't think they care?
No, not at all.
They're getting a piece of that GameStop
No,
pie?
I don't think they care at all. I don't think they care at all. They're worried about safety. But once again, that wasn't Pokemon International that shut down the event in Korea.
Yeah.
And that's Pokemon Go. Okay. So you've got this relationship that they already have. My gut says I think they fail to buy eBay, and I think that they figure out how to buy TCG Player.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think they get the full bid to buy eBay, and they.
Do you think eBay's going to sell off TCG Player?
If the price is right, everything's for sale.
I mean,
Zach,
I guess.
Right? Like a 20% premium?
eBay right now, just for context, is valued at $46.2 billion. This is according to FactSet data. GameStop is worth about $11.9 billion. eBay shares were up 9% in pre-market trading, while GameStop shares pointed to a sharply weaker open after gaining 6.3% on Friday.
What's the value of the GameStop stock right now? Is it in the 20s still?
I don't know.
I'll look.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It seems. What do you got? You cooking something?
23.
So everything that Josh said, I would agree with is factual from a synergistic point of view. How GameStop would leverage eBay, all of the speculation about what they could do with having the trading collectible economy, leveraging their brick and mortar locations to authenticate. All of that makes complete sense, but there's some other behind the scenes reasons that very few people are actually talking about. And usually I think that smart people like Ryan Conan, he's got a little bit of ulterior motives. Not everything's altruistic.
Really?
So let's talk about his personal incentive plan. Ryan Cohen gets no pay. He gets paid nothing. All of his pay is based into stock options and performance incentive plans. So I'll talk about that in a minute. And then two, GameStop already owns 5% of eBay.
Correct.
Yes.
3%, 60% of their 5%, so roughly 3%, is already owned by eBay call options. They bought those call options back in January. After this announcement, what happens is that eBay stock goes up substantially, and it makes their call options more in the green, being able to leverage those options. So there is a strategic thought about a leveraged position inside of GameStop so that you can create the noise and the sentiment in the marketplace to pump the price of eBay that allows you to profit on those options, even if the deal doesn't actually happen.
Okay.
There's millions of dollars, if not billions, I haven't done the math, to be earned if the call options actually go through. The second thing is Ryan Cohen's stock options for his incentive plan is based off of EBITDA triggers, regardless of whether or not that EBITDA comes from acquisition of EBITDA.
Hold on. EBITDA is a way that people measure the success of a company, and it's earnings before income tax deductions and
Tax and appreciation.
And appreciation, right? So it's just your gross revenue minus your operating costs.
Yeah, you're basically your net profitability.
Yeah. Before other calculations, it's not really the measure of how your company's doing, but it's how a lot of companies evaluate success.
Yeah.
Right.
So Ryan Cohen has 171 million shares as a stock-based option. His net worth right now is $5 billion. If his stock options were to fully vest, his net worth would now be worth $35 billion. He has a $30 billion incentive to get GameStop's share price based off of an EBITDA trigger up to $100 billion market cap. And eBay's market cap's already $56 billion. So you take eBay's $56 billion market cap plus GameStop's already market cap, and you're closer to that fully vested position. And so there's all the business fundamentals. Does it make sense for this deal to happen? How are they going to leverage each other? What sort of synergies are there going to be? And that's all well and true. And for the company to be viable into the future, you would have to have all those things coexist. But even if you strip all of those away and we stop looking at the business in and of itself and we look at the motives of the leaderships that's actually making the decisions, and you unpack, well, why are you buying call options in eBay? Why are you an investor in eBay? They had a plan. He had a strategy. He knew that he was going to be trying to put this deal in front of him. If he didn't know it, he wouldn't have been buying shares in eBay prior to the deal being announced. His call options are more in the green as a result of this deal going through. The other thing that could happen is that this is a equity swap, 50% in equity. So that's no cash. No cash has to exchange hands. That's just roll forward. So eBay's current ownership, they now become owners in eBay. They retain some ownership in eBay, but they also are owners of GameStop. And so the shareholders tag along with it as part of the deal by them rolling forward equity. And so that's an important distinction. It's not eBay selling out. The deal as proposed right now is not, if you're an eBay shareholder, you're not selling out all of your shares of eBay. Part of your shares are being exchanged for a combined share, which is GameStop and eBay collectively. Yeah. So there's still going to be an ownership interest there all the same. And so I thought that was more fascinating. Him having the call options and his incentive plan in GameStop, because you can acquire EBITDA. Like that's a known thing in the private equity world, in just business fundamentals of leveraging cash and debt. A lot of this was debt. 3/4 of this deal was debt and not cash. And so if you can leverage debt to acquire EBITDA, it costs your business nothing other than servicing of said debt.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So in that, his whole pay plan isn't set up for him to buy call options, and it's to make these really big leaps at purchasing things, right? At growing the business. So he didn't just unilaterally decide to make this offer on eBay just to make his pocket check, his wallet get bigger. That's not what he did. Like, there has to be some level of success there. I mean, yeah, he can make money on the call options, but the deal has to go through.
Well, GameStop has the call options, not Ryan Cohen.
Correct.
So it's not him.
Yeah. That's
where it would get into fiduciary responsibility, using your position of what you know, insider trading.
Yeah. So I just want to make it clear that it's not Ryan Cohen making a unilateral decision to try to, manipulate his pay plan, right? His pay plan basically dictates for him to get paid money, he's got to go figure out how to make these big giant leaps. Okay. So we've kind of discussed the underlying part of the deal, right? Because we're both interested in how the deal goes down and what that looks like. Let's just play, Jack. Let's just play a game here where it's like, okay, fast forward the amount of time or whatever it takes, the deal's done. So now GameStop owns eBay. Let's just say the whole deal goes through, and like we've spoken on this podcast before, things don't happen very quickly. You have to announce the deal. The deal has to get signed off on. You've got to have the deal happen. You got to do your due diligence. The deal happens, and then you're probably 9 to 12 to 15 months out from that point where the deal happens and is announced. And then you've probably got another 12 to 18 months before some level of impact happens in the other organizations, right? There may be some like quick go-to-market things that they do right out the gate, but we're potentially 2.5 to 3 years out from seeing impacts of things occur in a normal environment. They may fast track some things, right? So that being said, Trav, if GameStop now owns eBay, what do you think some fast tracked items are that occur inside of that world for Pokemon or for anything in general.
So I have a thought here because it may not be Pokemon related at all, because we forget eBay sells everything.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, so GameStop's first initiative is probably going
Pokemon's
to
a
be
small sliver of the overall eBay economy.
So I gotta imagine that GameStop's first initiative is going to be, okay, how do we attack this beast with selling everything, like competing with Amazon, like they said. That's what they're trying to do.
Well, eBay doesn't have any brick and mortar presence. I don't know how many stores GameStop has, 5,000 stores throughout the country. It's a huge brick and mortar presence, a huge commercial real estate play. Imagine how easy it would be for people, anybody, to come in and drop product off like a pawn shop to have other people list your items on eBay. I have things that I would sell on eBay right now, but I don't want to list it.
Be like that in-store
So here you
eBay
go. I'm going to drop
shop.
it off at GameStop, and you're going to have my listing. And so from a listing procurement point of view, that's probably the single biggest thing that eBay could do holistic. Like, let's say there was the other way around. Hey, eBay's saying, hey, I need to grow revenue. How do you grow revenue on eBay? You got to bring more sellers to the platform. Well, you also got to bring more buyers to the platform. And so anytime that you have a dual-sided marketplace where you have buyers and sellers that are needed to facilitate your main business model, you've got to make sure that you get both of them at the same time. The GameStop thing would be a wonderful play to bring sellers into the marketplace if they went with a consignment-based. We charge a 13% fee if a seller buys it, but if we list your item for you, we charge a 25% fee. So that synergy is you got more sellers into the marketplace, but you're making a higher margin on the product because some GameStop guy already is doing it. Also, if you look at the economics of GameStop, they've already got employees and they've already got the space. And so with those two things, it's not like that it's a new invested capital cost to facilitate that model. You could spin up that model relatively quickly with no additional capital. If eBay wanted to spin that model up, that would be capital cost prohibitive. You'd have to go and spend $5 billion having 5,000 anchor point location, training 5,000 people to do that model. That would be an operational scale nightmare. And so from that synergy perspective, it makes wonderful sense. And so that's just point number one. I mean, the synergy 100% is there strictly from let's not even think about Pokemon at all. eBay is a huge EBITDA company. They have very little expenses and they have massive EBITDA. So they're just like printing, from a cash flow standpoint, they're printing money. That's why their market valuation is so high.
Sports cards and trading card game singles is data that eBay provides. They don't provide sealed sales. Their eBay's gross market value sold, like their total number, is 80 billion.
Okay.
In 2025, and trading card singles sum to 3.3%, 2.62 billion. Just singles.
It's a very small sliver of the overall market of eBay.
And so what that means, just like you said, is if all of a sudden, I think the number's closer to 2,000 for GameStop stores, but it's the point still there. If all of a sudden you had this place where you could go drop off and get cash at 60%, for what the item's value is, because you use some level of synergy with TCG's algorithms or eBay's algorithms for what the market value is of an item. And they just took that number and they gave you 60% cash, and then they wanted to be Amazon. So now they inventory it and they've got it for sale and they send it to a central holding location. And then someone goes to eBay and they want to buy a Yeti mug that says MG on it. Well, we happen to have it in Kansas City. And so then that gets sent off, and right, you're right. Like, it's just how do you increase eBay's reach? Now,
I mean, it's uncommon for the small fish to want to buy the big fish.
Yeah.
But if the leader of the small fish is looking at the big fish and saying, "Hey, you guys are screwing up. You guys have so much more potential. What you're just sitting back, printing that cash cow. You're milking it for all it's worth, and somebody's going to come and steal your lunch money because you're not innovating anything." If you look at eBay, I mean, the site hasn't changed in 10 years, 15 years. I mean, I used to be a seller back in 2006. I don't know much that's different on eBay since 2006. If you just look at their position, they haven't really changed. And so if you kind of have a, innovative leader that sees the upside potential, that's where it kind of makes sense. The other thing, I know we're thinking trading cards. And so one of the other synergies about trading cards is, if you look at Whatnot has a huge marketplace. eBay has their eBay Live. GameStop could have their own actual live streaming, if you look at a Twitch or a Kick and you look at all the synergies for how big those platforms are, and then you isolate just the trading card space and you say, hey, eBay's already created their eBay Live. Us, GameStop, we don't have a live stream thing. We could layer on and grow on and push kind of maybe a live stream platform that's a competitor to Whatnot. That's kind of this GameStop / eBay off-branded whole separate thing. That's a play in terms of growth potential. The direct partnership that PSA has with selling through the eBay vault, and then with GameStop facilitating people bringing their cards in for grading, that's a thing. On that side of it, GameStop does the grading, but I suspect that their ability to liquidate slabs probably is nowhere near as high as what eBay's ability is, and is nowhere near as high as PSA being able to do the fulfillment once they keep it there on their site. So kind of doing a little triangle there where you've got GameStop, eBay, and PSA from the slab economy. That's a play.
Yeah, a lot can happen there. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, we got
I don't think a deal. I'm going to go on record. I don't think a deal happens. I think this is Ryan Cohen leveraging the call options to pump price to make a quick dollar.
Yeah, I think you're right. But yeah, let's move on here. So up next we've got Tag pausing all grading submissions. So let's jump into that here. All right, so Tag Grading has been an up-and-coming service, kind of giving PSA the business, trying to put up a fight against them as the mainline standard. They are very popular as far as grading companies go. They put out a statement this past week saying, we are pausing basic and standard tier submissions until further notice. This is temporary, and we will reopen both tiers as soon as we can. We know what that means for a large portion of this community, but continuing to accept all tiers right now would mean making turnaround commitments we can't stand behind, and that's not something we're willing to do. This is not just U.S.-based, Canada, Mexico.
How many tiers do they still have left? Like, what price tier are they still accepting?
It says express, priority, and walkthrough submissions will remain open. I don't know what those price. That's just off the announcements.
I kind of have a little bit of an operational mindset just from having been in business for a little bit. And one of the things that I must be missing something, because both PSA and Tag, there's been a couple other companies like AGS that have had these surges in demand. It's always boggled my brain that they can't figure out how to increase the speed to fulfillment.
It's just manpower, right?
For PSA, 100% it's manpower. For Tag, it's the scanning machines. You might have a little bit of a backlog or procurement bottleneck where there's some other company that's providing those machines. And so if you're going to run everything through the scanner, the time per unit scanned per person employed, that's a number. I can get through, let's say one employee can get through 30 an hour. It's one every 2 minutes, right? But you've got, 10,000 new submissions a day. Well, if that's the number, then you need, 150 people, whatever the math is, right? That's how many people you need to employ. And if the unit economics, this is what doesn't make sense. Whether you've got 5 people on staff or 10 people on staff or 100, the unit economics of the profitability that Tag or PSA can earn relative to the number of items that you can get graded from the speed standpoint, why aren't they able to scale faster? And the only thing I can think of is that they like the 50, 60-day turnaround time. Like, they wouldn't want to get into a position where they get the turnaround time in 5 days.
I don't know well enough the processes that go into AI grading versus, standard grading like PSA would do, or some of the other non-AI grading companies. I don't know enough about Tag in general to really have an answer for you on that. How big is Tag like facility-wise across? Do they?
I don't know facility-wise. This seems silly. This whole thing that it's a deal. This shouldn't be a deal. They're the smallest player.
I agree.
Right? So whether that means facility size or employees, right? And there are enough nerds invested, and I say that with no negative, like nerds positive. Yeah, like people that
nerd to nerd.
they say things and then they have the quantitative data to back it up. There are enough nerds in this sphere that we're in of grading cards that are sitting there every day, and one of the first things they do every day is they look at the total amount of grading cards that are coming out of PSA, CGC, all these other places, and they're plotting them. So I have a graph going back to September 18th of 2023 of total cards graded for tag. They've hit above 15,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times they've graded more than 15,000 cards in a week in coming up on, what are we at, 2.5 years ish. So that their capacity where they hit is right around 10. If they can do 10,000, so that's 2,000 a day. That's 2,000 cards a day, assuming 5 business days, right? That they're working. In the little note, he's saying that they're working 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. They're small players. I think the other difficulty is the first thing I did is actually this might be a fun little clip. When you think of graded cards and liquid market, what's the number one card you think of to look, hey, is the Pokemon market gone up or gone down? If you're in a coma today and you woke up a year from now and you wanted to know what the Pokemon market for graded cards had done, what's the first card you're going to go look at?
There's one card that I'm looking at just in terms of grade velocity, like a single card being graded.
Not being graded. What's the value of a graded card? Like if you were looking at, oh, the market went up 50%, what card are you going to go look at?
Let's see here.
Just to give you the context, I go look at the Umbreon VMAX. That's what I go look at to see what the graded.
So
market
one
is.
card's market price is the leading indicator of the overall actual market.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick base set Charizard.
Yeah.
Unlimited.
Charizard number 4. Jack, do you have a different
Not
one?
first edition, just plain number 4.
Yeah.
And a PSA 9.
Yeah. PSA 9. Okay.
Because PSA 10, there's less volume.
Sure.
Less numbers of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would have went with Umbreon.
Umbreon. Okay. So in a grade 9,
I know it's up like.
there's not even a tag valuation. Even in a 10, there's none sold in a PSA, in a tag 9 for Charizard. Okay. For the Umbreon, the PSA 10 is 4,300. For a tag 10, it's 3,500. So you're 80% of the market price. Like
I know that's a whole separate segment about the justification for is sending to non-PSA graded companies a viable thing.
Right.
It's why we as a shop sent over 1,000 slabs to AGS, the first AI-based grading company before tag.
Yep.
I saw the vision because I've been burnt and so mad at PSA so many times for inconsistency that I love the idea of AI and computers and taking the human subjectivity out of it. Had over 1,000 submissions to AGS, and to this day, we haven't submitted an AGS submission in over a year, and we've got 30 AGS slabs that are still high value that we're charging more than 20% below PSA, and we still can't sell them. And so, as a collector, why would I do that? Why would I inherently send it? I don't care that tag is crystal clear cover, right? Like I don't care that the slab looks cleaner than PSA. I care about the value and protecting my investment. The predisposition is that if I send a card in for grading, I care about value. Like otherwise, be a raw collector. So inherently, because I care about value, I send the card in for grading. I need to protect my investment. That's why PSA has such a foothold on the market. This point is even extended upon, I took all of our AGS slabs to Collecticon last year. There was only like one booth. Like every vendor there was like, no, I don't touch AGS. I don't touch AGS. I don't touch AGS. Very few even touch CGC.
Yeah.
And they have a 10, 15% market price. So everybody wants to deal in PSA. It's surprising to me that somebody like a tag can even get off the launch pad.
Yeah, and then this, they cut, back to your question about what price packages, they cut their $22, which was their cheapest. They cut their $39, which was their second cheapest. So if you're going to get a tag card graded now, it's $59 or $149 or $299. And so when they bring these back online, are they going to keep the same price, right? So is this just a real nice way for them to basically triple up their entry fee to be able to accomplish the task that they're trying to accomplish and set the new floor for what they're doing? But once again, they're the small player.
Well, I think that's why they have to pause, right? Because they're a small player. Like, I don't think there's anything malevolent here going on. Or malicious.
Oh, I don't either.
I just think they legit can't keep up because everybody's looking for something other than PSA. And the number one grading company to go to that's not PSA right now is Tag.
Well, CGC does more volume substantially.
Well,
than
because
Tag.
CGC's been around longer.
Yeah.
But from like a recency bias, it's Tag.
The intent for why Tag is doing this, there in my mind, there's two different paths forward. One is the scalability issue. So let's assume that the average submission takes 5 minutes for the manpower to get it through the grading thing, scan it, and then probably encapsulate it. It's probably more than 5 minutes because the whole process, I can't imagine that you can encapsulate, scan it, grade it, print the sticker in 5 minutes. But let's just use 5 minutes as the proxy. You're doing 20 slabs an hour. At 15,000 slabs a week for Tag.
That's a high point for them.
That's a high point, but let's
Yep.
just assume that. Let's
Okay.
assume that's reality.
I like it.
You've got to have 150 staff at a consistent rate of 5 an hour. So imagine the fulfillment operations of a company like Tag having 150 employees getting through 5 submissions a week, cradle to grave, the full process. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. So when I say, hey, why is scale so hard? Okay, go interview 30 new people, bring them onboard them. I mean, the turnover rate, your problems as a business is a whole new business. And when you get to that scale, now you got to have HR. Now you got to your margin gets lower and lower and lower because your unit cost is still the same. You can only get through one submission every 5 minutes. So I had a interview in a previous live with the high-level CEO at my prior company, and he used the term NLB to describe his business. And I said, NLB, what's that? He said, you never heard of NLB? Mm-hmm. No. He said, it's a nice little business. That's what it means. Nice little business. It's profitable. It does well. You know, there's not a whole lot of growth here. It can maintain pretty well. It's a business that you would want to own in your portfolio because it just pumps out profitability. And through the lens of Tag, if they have 2 options to go down. Option A, I can scale the business, make less margin, hire more people, try to compete with PSA, or I can look at the business and say, how do I double or triple profitability overnight and not do anything? Cut off the low value things, use it as a premier service that instead of somebody paying $15 or $20, they're paying $50 or $60, and see if that over a temporary period of time will normalize. In other words, does having the low value thing, is that the loss leader that leads you to get your 100, 200,000 high value submissions where people are paying $75 for per sub? In other words, if you remove the low margin stuff completely, do you keep the same scale on the high volume ones? And if the answer is yes, Tag still gets their 1,000 submissions a week at the much higher level. From a nice little business perspective, Tag increases profitability by 3 or 4x, doesn't have to hire any more manpower, and they can just accept that we've done everything we can to take over market share. We've paid brand influencers on eBay or on TikTok and everywhere else. We reached effective scale. There's nothing that we can do anymore that can actually get users to trust us. We're not seeing any month-over-month growth anymore. So we've plateaued, and they might just be making the decision that we just need to go for profitability versus going for scale.
And so, I mean, just simple math, it's not this easy, but if they were doing $15,000 a week at $22, to be able to have that same amount of revenue, so revenue doesn't drop, they only have to do 5,600 of their next level service, right? And then if they can get back up to capacity and do 15,000 at the service that they offer now, they went from 330,000 a week to 885.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a
assuming that your customer base is going to maintain at that higher level, which I can make the argument that you're going to have diminishing returns. However, there's still the equilibrium. It's like the idea that if I was to increase prices here in the shop by 30% and that led me to having a 100% added profitability, the question would be, would I get 80% less revenue total? And if the answer is that I still make more money charging 30% higher, knowing that I'm going to lose revenue. At the end of the day, profitability, right? What's that?
You can't do that.
Here, I couldn't. No, but it's the concept for Tag.
Yeah.
If we charge 30% more, we would be so overpriced that, I mean, people wouldn't buy anything.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's an equilibrium of you can put your thumb on the scale and see.
Yeah, how much is my loyalty worth? How much do people need the product? How much is the marketplace? You know, what is the real hold I have on the marketplace? I think the fact that we're talking about it means it's a thing. I don't know why it's a thing though. That's my question. It's like I'm trying to think if Albertsons decided to reduce their store hours. Do you guys even know what Albertsons is?
Yeah.
If Albertsons decided to reduce their store hours, right? Like, why are we talking about it in Kansas City? Albertsons is a grocery store that doesn't exist in our world, right? When you look at the scale, once again, of the amount of cards that get graded, PSA is doing like 110,000 a day.
Yeah.
CGC is doing 30,000 a day. Beckett's doing $5,000. And you know, you said everybody's looking for an alternative to PSA. I no, they're not. The minority are looking for somebody different because they've been burned by PSA and they don't like PSA. But the majority of people, I would venture I think it may be a hot take. I doubt it. But the people that are grading cards are not people that are trying to preserve their cards.
What's surprising about that chart that he has up and put this up in post, Jack, CGC has 30% of the submissions. Was that last month?
April 24th, 2026. Yeah.
So 25% of all submissions. If that's the case, that's good market share. Why is it that when I go to a Collecticon that has 80 to 200 vendor tables, are only 5 out of the 200 vendors willing to deal in CGC?
It's because the value is in PSA and the people.
I know, but that's still a high market share though. I mean, they're getting 25,000 a month. You would think that's high enough. Like, if that level of market share still doesn't lead to being respected from a value proposition standpoint, what will?
Okay, I haven't said my piece yet. My piece is that the people that are pushing graded cards are not people that are trying to secure their cards for their personal collection. They're preserving value. They only want to get the PSA 10, and then they're liquidating the product just in the same amount. Where what we've seen in the last year and a half is there's no sealed product left generally in the collector sphere because everybody's ripping it because of the high values of it. And you have a ridiculous difference between what you can buy a single pack at and what you can buy a modern booster box for, right? Is because there are so many people that are ripping packs, right? In that, the reason that there's so much PSA is because you can't negotiate on the value very much, right? You can't look at a card. The reason that there are people that only do slabs is you could look at a card and say, hey, it's mod play, it's heavy play. You can get into that argument. With PSA 7s or 8s or 9s on vintage or 5s and 6s on vintage versus 10s, you can't. The market is what it is. And so there's no third-party thought process about what the condition of the card is. That's number one. Number two, people are trying to find cards in binders for $2, illustration rares, and they're trying to look at them, and they're taking their risks, they're submitting cards, and they're trying to normalize their risk to get the 12% or the 8% chance that they get a PSA 10, and they 10x their investment on that card. Mm-hmm. That is happening at such a high scale that you can do that with CGC also. Because CGC, why it's grading so many and where the numbers are coming from is when you look at a pristine is similar in price, if not more. Rarely are CGC 10 pristines less than a PSA 10.
What's the look at Charizard from 151 in a PSA 10? Or there's a Moltres. You got it pulled up.
Yeah, I got his Galarian Moltres.
Look at PSA 10 versus CGC 10.
It's half. PSA 10 is 580, CGC 10 is 276.
So the notion that people are still finding arbitrages on CGC, I push back on that because in the data right there, if my intent and behavior is to find arbitrage and the reason I'm submitting is because I want to flip it, I'm not sending to CGC. Like it must be personal collect. What's the normal price per submission? Does CGC have a drastically undercut? I mean, are they half the cost? So like if I'm a normal collector and I want to send 10 things in, I don't want to pay $250 for grading. I'll send it to CGC and play 125. Like is the price per sub just drastically lower with CGC?
I'm trying to find it. A CGC. So once again, I read you the PSA 10 is like 570. A CGC pristine 10 just sold for 600.
That's a pristine 10, yeah. But when you look at pop reports, a pristine 10 is probably going to be like 5% hit rate compared to what a PSA 10 is.
Yeah.
And so it's just such a small, Like,
But that's why it doesn't bring value is because the misses are high. Their website sucks. I'm hitting things. I'm clicking on things on their website.
somebody in comments know.
Yeah, we'll save
I'm trying to
arbitrage.
understand the like.
We'll talk about it next week because we gotta move on. But yeah, it's definitely something we should cover, and we will. Just want to touch on these vending machines being removed. So. Yeah, so the vending machine experiment seems to be over, boys. PvP in Pokemon is no longer a thing. So we are going to be shutting down vending machines, apparently, across most of the country. It's already happened on the East Coast. They're just unplugging them. Straight up turning them black screen, unplugging them if they haven't removed them from the stores yet. I don't know if you guys saw anything on this, but
I want to buy one just for nostalgia's sake.
Just for nostalgia.
How much would one of those cost to buy?
I have no idea.
The Pokemon Company International made the decision to remove the Pokemon TCG vending machines. The machines are being gradually removed from select retail locations to improve stock consistency, reduce regional shortages, and provide a more reliable experience for all players. The Pokemon Co. owns and operates all the machines themselves. They are not sold or franchised to stores. So I wanted to ask the question, who decided to move them? Because it's obviously a safety thing, right? I mean, that's in my head, that feels like the easy thing. It's a safety thing. But who made the decision? Was it like the local retailers? Was it the shops that they were in? No, Pokemon Company International removed them. Many stores, Kroger, Fred Meyer, there's violence, there's glitching, it's a disruption. It's getting in the way of general store operations, mostly pushed around, there's a whole world that exists with Facebook groups and trash talking and scouting for like this one guy in I want to say it's Arizona or New Mexico who knows how to type the buttons in to be able to glitch out the machine, and then he loads them in his trunk, and then he tries to flex on Facebook about how much stuff he's got or whatever, and everybody hates him. He's like a villain. But so it's a safety thing, number one, right? Like there's no hidden secret there. It's a safety thing. Number two, it's a really good idea. Just like it's a really great idea to have a vending machine that sells soda or sells snacks or granola bars, or like vending machines in and of themselves aren't bad. They provide a service to somebody at a little bit of an increased price to the normal cost of something. And, you can swipe your card or whatever, or pay in cash. It's a great idea. The problem is that you run into these safety issues where as you're loading up your cart, you just, you get cold cocked in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Someone takes your stuff. And so
kind of like how you cold cocked me at the pop machine here in the shop.
Exactly, right?
Yeah,
I watch MMA clips just to figure out how to get through Pokemon lines, right?
Yeah, right. Well, I said this. We talked about this a few weeks ago. I was like, bro, if you're going in there, it's like Fight Club mentality. You got to be ready and know that there's a good chance you're getting swung on.
Yeah.
And it's just stupid.
It's ridiculous.
Here's my take on it. Pokemon's not in the same place that they were when those machines came out.
Yeah.
They're already selling out a product online. Online, you don't have to have somebody that goes fulfill them. You don't have to have the liability. You don't have to have the maintenance cost. If you back to business, if you look at the margin game number, you make Pokemon like less money, put in those things in those machines, and you have a lot of headache. When product is not selling well, you want to do stuff like that to get extra eyeballs, have the experience be fun, have it be something that you can get marketing exposure. Pokemon doesn't need that right now.
Right.
They can just put their product on PokemonCenter.com. It's going to sell out instantaneously, and you don't have all the other nuisances that come with it. And so the only thing that I think it's a fine call. It's the right call. Whenever the market gets back to a place where we're at the Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flame, Scarlet Violet, $105 price per booster box, and literally the product is just sitting, then you go back and you do stuff like that so you can get more impressions, more frequencies, more eyeballs, more visibility. So from that perspective, those kiosks make sense for that. What is odd about it, are they actually pulling them out of the store, or are they just shutting them down and just going to let them sit for
so
a year?
they're on the East Coast. Most of them have just been unplugged, or they're just blackout screens.
Yeah, you just want to leave them there because you don't want, if they need that scale again to sell, you don't want to have to remobilize all those. So hopefully the locations that they're at Like, does Pokemon pay the location for a lease to say, hey, give me your floor space?
I think they are removing them though physically.
I think there's just like a Pepsi machine would come in. Somebody owns the machine. Somebody's paying for the machine. There's some contract in place. My gut says that like Kroger signed some level of a contract with Pokemon to have their machines in, and either Kroger's paying money for the machines to draw traffic in. Well, I don't think Pokemon's paying to have their products there, but somebody else is maintaining the actual machines, and I imagine they're just going to go get some Tommy Gate trucks,
like some third party MJ Holdings kind of situation.
Yeah, and go put them on a dolly and get them out. And before they can get them out, they're just unplugging them so that everybody knows that they don't exist anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, I just want to touch on that real quick. But we're coming real close on time here, so we're just going to jump into Kraus. Hit me with it.
Oh
Laser.
wait, you got to give me a heads up, man. And then
Man,
I got to unmute.
you got one job.
I got lots of jobs.
I'm over here. Thank you. Tinker time. Travis excited. Look at him on his phone.
I am cheating.
Cheating. Okay, that's fair. All right, so Tinker time today. We are going to do air horns and hidden gems.
Love it.
That's kind of a catchy title.
I want to do more drawing. That was actually fun for me.
We'll come back to drawing. We're gonna do some reverse charades one day. You guys are gonna love that. So today, though, since we had so much news to talk about, I just wanted a quick one. I wanted to have you guys give the audience some quote-unquote hidden gems. So how we're gonna do this is you pull up TCG Player or whatever listing you want to go off of for set lists and market price. I'm going to give you a set name, and then I'm gonna give you a budget. And you have to pick a card with the budget I give you that you would prioritize over any other card under that budget.
But you're going to give me
For
the
my
set name?
I'll give you the set to
For my
set to
personal
search.
collection.
Yes, for your person that you feel like audience members may want to go pick up for less than however much money.
Yeah.
All right. So first one, we're gonna go Paradox Rift. You guys have a $30 budget. Hit me with a hidden gem that you would prioritize from Paradox Rift that is $30 or less.
I mean, I'm not maxing out. Can I pick two if I'm not maxed out?
Yeah. Give me a couple if you want to. Again, this is more for just the viewers, so they can benefit from maybe some cards they didn't think about that they can go pick up for not $1 million.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Trust lock it in. Okay, I'll go. My first from Paradox Rift, coming in, and I'm rounding a little bit, so I might be just a couple pennies over 30. But for about $6.50 is the Espathra illustration rare, which is drawn by
Kirigawa.
Akira Agawa. So you got this Pokemon that's not really high on anybody's like favorite list, but you got this beautiful scene with the sun in the background. It's number 197.
Yeah, it's a good look.
Okay, and then the second one is the Yveltal. So this is done by Tomy, but it's a $23 card. That Yveltal is, I mean, he's a big time legendary homie. I think there's a ton of possibilities for all legendaries across, like Slept On. And I think $23 to own a card that has the potential in 4 or 5 years to be 100 or. And
how I feel about Yveltal. He needs some more love. Bro.
He doesn't have an SIR.
No, he doesn't.
This is the in the modern era the highest level art rarity that this Pokemon has.
And you perfect order. Where was the Yveltal SIR?
Yeah, and I feel like it's fantastic.
It's a great card, yeah.
Yep. So
Trav?
those are
How much do I have?
You have $30.
$30. Can I buy more than one card?
You can.
Or I can spend the money however I
Spend
want.
it however you want. If you had $30 and you can only pick up cards from Paradox Rift, what cards are you sniping?
I'm gonna do the Rika special illustration rare.
Oh.
$7.44. It has a 10.9x arbitrage going from raw to 10. So I'm going to look for a minty one, trying to 10x my money. I'm going to do the Brute Bonnet.
Yeah,
That's
I like that
$11. The same reason, a 9.9x return if you can get it in a 10.
That's a Kamaya.
So I'm at
is it?
$18 right there. And then I'm going to do the Gimmighoul illustration rare.
Yeah.
7.4x. So 3 cards. I'm going to spread my money across 3 illustration rares, hoping I get one of those 3 to come back as a 10. And if I get one of those 3 to come back as a 10, I've turned my $30 into roughly $300.
Yep.
Minus the $75 for grading cost, So I'm at $200 invested capital with a expected return of $200.
This is not a bad plan.
And because of that logic, that's why vendors exist. And that's why if you're a vendor in this space, you can make a shit ton of money if you actually invest it in the right areas. And the
all
right
right.
times.
So,
wait.
so we're getting two different opinions here. We're going to get the market value opinion
Yep.
from Travis, and we're going to get the, hey, these are banger artworks from
Well,
Chris.
but I think they're banger artworks that increase in single card value.
Oh, sure, yeah,
Not the
yeah.
arbitrage.
For the record, I really like the Iron Valiant SIR from
Yeah.
Paradox Rift.
Me
for
too.
22.
It's such a steal.
Dude, it's such a good looking card.
I know.
Yeah, I don't understand how that with as many cards that are in Paradox Rift that you have to, pull from. It's just to pull that one. Iron
It's one of my
Valiant, so-
favorite sets, but it's because it's the set that we got like our biggest allocations at the old store. And that's when I was still working at the shop like 40 hours a week in person.
Yeah.
And I had opened 500 packs of Paradox Rift on one of the first live streams that we did. And it was just, I didn't really look at the artwork before. And so like opening the 500 packs was like the first time me seeing the artworks.
Yeah.
And so it was the last set that I really went that hard on a set release, just celebrating the arts. And I thought at the time, I was like, this is going to be the best set of the era. I'm just going through it. And I'm like, it has like 20 or 18 or 20 SIR. It has 14. It has like the most SIRs out of almost every set except for
You and I
Prismatic.
had a conversation about this where we were talking about how many art rares are in Paradox Rift and
Yeah.
how large of a set it is. I think it was like right around Christmas time when we were debating the booster box choice, the drafting for booster boxes, and like which ones would be like the best ones to take just from like an overall value standpoint. All right, next set, Twilight Masquerade.
Oh yeah, come on.
Your budget is $35.
I mean, I just go with the Perrin Growlithe right out the top. That's
I'm not giving you a $170 budget for the Perrin. Are you nuts?
$35. Well, it drops off pretty far. I'm gonna get 2 unfair stamps.
Can I have $42?
No, you cannot.
Can I trade some stuff in?
No, you may not.
So this set, in my opinion, the current values on it, like there are cards that are overvalued because this is one of the sets that's in the current play that people are drawing heavy from. So the fact that you have, 8, 12, the 14th most expensive card is an A spec, shows you that there's some overvaluation here a little bit on the set. Teal Mask and Wellspring being $25 and $20 respectively. Tatsugiri being $21. I don't think those are right relative to some of the other cards in the set. But I would pick the Lanazade. And yeah, some people are playing it, but I would pick the Lanazade SIR. Okay. You've got some less known Pokemon in it, like a Corphish and a whatever the other little skitter guy is. But full, SIR, there's a chance, it's probably not a great one, but there's a chance there for a good return on a PSA 10. But beyond that, from a value standpoint, you got cute art and you've got a card that is underplayed. So it doesn't, not a lot of people know of it. So that's what I would choose. I would choose the Lanazade SIR, number 219.
All right, Trav.
All right, I'm taking Infernape, $12.
That's a banger art.
9.5x return. I'm taking Enamorous, 11.7x return for $5.88.
Looney Tunes.
I'm taking Timber.
Space Jammerous.
Timber, $5.24. That's 11.8x return. Torkoal. I'm just going low value, but cheap. Torkoal, 14 times return. And then Parian, the ultra rare, for $4.65.
The full art?
That's the full art.
Yeah.
That's a 15x return.
That's interesting. Yeah, the
So
full
we're gonna
art's getting some love.
spread wide, but I tell you, there's probably you could probably acquire 80% of the illustration rares that are like sub $10.
That is the whole
Just
point
buy
of this
illustration
segment, man.
rares sub
The whole-
$10.
The
That are
whole
just
point is
really
that
good.
I want everybody to see that there are a ton of really good cards out there, whether you're in it for the money, whether you're in it for collecting, for the artwork, whatever. There are a lot of cards out there you can snipe.
There's an honorable mention here, the Heliolisk, number 177.
Oh yeah.
Where he is running over the water,
That is
and you can
great.
actually see, like it's not a you don't have to make a big jump in your brain to see that this little dude is running. He's either running away or he's running towards you. It looks like he's mad, so he's running towards you, but over the water.
Walk on water.
I think it's great. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going Kieran
Yeah, that's a
by
good one.
T-Zero.
Yeah.
That card is a no-brainer for me. I love the Dairy Main vibes. It always reminds me of Pennywise. All right, so we've done early Scarlet Violet, mid Scarlet Violet. Time for late Scarlet Violet, boys. Now we're gonna cheat the system here. I'm gonna give you a fat budget.
Oh,
We're gonna go Ascended Heroes,
okay.
and you get $200.
200.
That's not going to do nothing on Ascended.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what you value.
Come
from
on,
Ascended.
Daddy.
You should have done more chores this week. We'll see what you value in Ascended for $200. What direction you would take this? Now, I know I said clearly the segment is meant to be what cards can you get for dirt cheap that would really add to your collection, or you could maybe invest in for long term. But we're going off script here because I'm just curious to see.
I mean, I'm just going off what I want. Like I don't have any.
that's fair.
I don't have any basis here. So I'm starting with the Psyduck. Right. That's
Okay.
a Rend.
So that's half your budget.
Ren's my dude. I got it at 93. So
Okay.
Mega Halucha. Then after that, the SIR. That puts me at 160.
Yeah, Kirigawa.
And then after that, I'm grabbing. I was looking at the Mega Electros.
Oh, Electros, yeah.
So I may be over $1.
Dude, I'll give it to you because Electros is the most underrated SIR in all of Ascended Heroes.
Yeah.
I do not understand how that card is only $40. If you do not own that card, you should definitely go pick that up for $40.
And if the vendor didn't have the Halucha, I would be happy with swapping Iris's Fighting Spirit for the Halucha.
Another banger artwork.
I think trainer cards and cards that have lots of Pokemon in them, not just one, not like just like a Marnie's Grimmsnarl or Steven's Metagross or whatever, but like have multiple Pokemon. So yeah, the Psyduck, the Halucha, and the Electros.
Yeah. Do the Electros again. That's by Okagi.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just great. I mean, you got the positive and negative. He's mad. If you've played the game, Mega Electros is a big part of the game. Yeah. And the art's great.
All right, Trav. Trav's going to be like, I'm buying every illustration right.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm gonna do the Psyduck for $93, the illustration rare,
Okay.
and the Stevens Metagross SIR for $94.
Nice. Just because you like the Metagross, or?
Just because it's one of the only SIRs I can get within budget.
Okay, fair.
I can go up. I mean, I can get the Meganium.
Meganium, yeah.
Yeah, I can say I can't.
the Magnate, the
I
Monganium.
I have skills in other areas of my life. Speech and pronunciation is not one of them, and I accept that.
So if you got those two, you still have 5 and 8. You still got like $12. I would have recommended that you picked up the Score Bunny.
That Score Bunny's sick too.
Oh yeah.
Just because it's a starter.
So no one's investing in the
Yeah.
Mega Attack rares, huh? The Gengar, Dragonite Mega Attack rares.
You know, part of me wanted to go a different direction, and for like $150, you can buy all commons, uncommons, rares, double rares, and ultra rares.
That's what I thought you
So
were
just
gonna do.
master set it basically and say, hey, I'm going to put $150, buy most of a master set starter. But then usually if I'm ripping packs anyways, you're going to fill most of those in. So spending money on that is kind of not the wise use.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to rip so many packs anyways that you'll get a lot of those filled in.
What about you, Jack?
I am going with Pheasant Skippity.
Yeah.
I love that artwork. I think that's one of the best artworks in the set. I got to get Mega Halucha with my Kirigawa vibes. And then I was with you. I was looking at Electros, and I was also looking at Kanari.
Yeah.
The Kanari SIR with all the Tynamo. I'm a sucker for Tynamo. He's kind of my little guy, so I really like that artwork. But yeah,
The fact that Kanari is a $50 card and it's not playable in my head means that it's more like what Miriam was. And Miriam's not done well now from SV1 base, right? But there is something she's given the little, Korean heart symbol as she's out there streaming, doing her thing.
yeah.
I think it's
It's got the Iono vibes, kind of.
yeah. But Iono was always propped up because everybody needed him in their deck.
Yeah.
The value was.
That's true.
And this is not a card that's played, and it's still $50.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Same with Iris too, right? So
Yeah. All right, final one, guys. For this one, you each get $50 any set you want. But here's the caveat: you can only buy one card.
the best $50 card.
The best $50 or under card from any set. Let's put a cap. No, you know what? Sword and Shield on. So you can go back to Sword and Shield if you want. He's.
I gotta go look at the set.
It's got to be something in Crown Zenith, right?
That's where my head went to immediately, but it's not. And I had two, and both failed. I was gonna do the Neuburn B alt art.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that one. What is it, 60? 55? Mitsuhiro Rita? Yeah, the Batman Noivern.
Yeah.
That is a banger. That's another one I can't believe is under $60.
Yeah.
I'll let you have that one.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have that one. I'll allow it.
Thanks. The other one I really like too, and it's only 30, is the breakdancing Genesect.
Yeah. Fusion Strike.
Yeah.
That's another good one.
You
I
said
was
Sword
looking
and
at it
Shield
with
and up,
customer the
right?
other
Yeah,
day.
Sword and Shield and up.
Is it just one card, or can
Just
I do
one
more?
card.
Just one card.
Yeah,
Okay.
one
I'm
card.
gonna go close to 50 then. I would probably do.
The Roaring Moon from Paradox Rift.
Yeah.
It's $41.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's another one. It's just
I
like
just see
Iron
value there. I don't care if other people don't see it.
Yeah. Like a Hydreigon from Surging Sparks. That card's like $35 SIR.
A close second choice would be Raikou from Crown. It's
Mhm.
$48.
Yeah.
I was looking at that one.
What about the Terapagos SIR from Prismatic? $35.
Yeah, that's another one. The Executor from Surging Sparks, another one that's
The
like
Iron
$40.
Hands is $35 from Prismatic.
Yeah, there's a lot. I don't understand how some of these are as low as they are, but I think every time something like this happens, I think of the Latios now is $30.
Yeah.
And now
When I
it's-
got into the hobby, you could buy a PSA 10 Latios and Latias Lovebirds for $500.
Yeah. But that's it. That's all we got today. So signing off. What? All right. We'll catch you guys next week.
See you guys. Thank you.